Uncle Jesse from Full House was the cool uncle everyone loved. Leather jacket, motorcycle, Elvis obsession, and a heart of gold. But underneath that charm and swagger was a man who genuinely feared responsibility. At his core, Jesse was a free spirit who valued his independence above all else. Before Danny Tanner's wife passed away, Jesse's life revolved around music, women, and staying young forever. Responsibility meant limits, and limits meant losing the parts of himself he clung to the most: his youth, his dreams, and his freedom. When he moved into the Tanner house to help raise 3 young girls, it wasn't just a new chapter, it was a personal test. Suddenly, he had to trade his guitar for baby bottles, his motorcycle for minivans, and his carefree attitude for consistency. Deep down, he wasn't sure if he could live up to that expectation, or if doing so would erase the version of himself he loved most. Much of Jesse's fear stemmed from the pressure to be perfect, especially from his parents who valued structure and stability. Jesse had rebel tendencies. He didn't want to become his father, working the same job day in and day out. So when the moment came to step up for his nieces, that same fear of becoming ordinary crept back in. He wasn't just afraid of being responsible, he was afraid of losing his identity in the process. That's why he often escaped through his band, his hair, or his constant search for coolness in a world that suddenly demanded maturity. But what makes Uncle Jesse's story so powerful is how he slowly learned that responsibility doesn't kill your identity, it reshapes it. When he married Becky and had his own kids, he discovered that responsibility could coexist with freedom. It could even deepen love, loyalty, and self-worth. By the later seasons, the same man who once ran from diapers and rules became the anchor of the family, not because he lost his edge, but because he found purpose. Uncle Jesse feared responsibility because it represented a future he didn't think he was ready for. But by facing that fear, he became the best version of himself, proving that growth doesn't mean giving up who you are. It just means learning how to handle more of what life throws at you. Uncle Jesse's journey was one of reluctant transformation. A man who clung to the illusion of eternal youth, suddenly thrown into the deep end of adulthood. What made his fear of responsibility so relatable was how it wasn't rooted in laziness, but in insecurity. He didn't think he was cut out for the grown-up life. Every time Danny handed him one of the girls or asked for help around the house, Jesse hesitated, not because he didn't care, but because he was terrified of failing. He equated responsibility with pressure, and pressure with disappointment. His cool exterior was a shield, protecting him from the anxiety of being seen as unprepared or inadequate. Beneath the jokes and rock star bravado was a man who constantly second-guessed himself. He worried that one mistake would prove he wasn't dependable, that maybe he wasn't built for stability or family life. That's why he often ran to what was comfortable: his music, his hair, his bike, his independence. But the more he tried to hold on to those things, the more life pushed him toward the responsibilities he was avoiding. When he crashed his bike or argued with Danny about taking things seriously, it wasn't just comic relief. It was Jesse wrestling with adulthood in real time. The fear of responsibility also connected to his fear of permanence. Jesse loved the idea of love, but commitment scared him because it meant accountability. When Becky came into his life, she forced him to confront that fear head-on. She didn't want the image of Uncle Jesse, the cool musician. She wanted the man behind it. And that shook him. It made him question what kind of partner, husband, or father he wanted to be. Every diaper change, every broken guitar string, every late-night talk with the girls brought him closer to realizing that responsibility wasn't the enemy. It was the bridge to something real. As the show went on, Jesse evolved from running away from responsibility to redefining it. He learned that being responsible didn't mean giving up his dreams. It meant balancing them with love and purpose. He could still rock out, still chase his passions, but now he did it with something to fight for. The man who once panicked at the idea of babysitting became the same man who built a stable home for his own kids and offered wisdom to his younger self through others. By the end of Full House, Jesse's fear of responsibility had transformed into pride. He wore it like a badge of honor. The same guy who used to flinch at the thought of commitment became the glue that held everyone together. And that's what made Uncle Jesse so timeless. He showed us that maturity doesn't have to mean losing your edge. It means learning when to shift gears. It's about realizing that real cool isn't rebellion, it's resilience.